When you take a very close look at the Disney Plus business model by the Walt Disney Company, by Disney CEO Bob Iger, and really combine all of the failures over the years, which actually equals to billions of dollars in losses, we know that Bob Iger recently is beginning to go into damage control, especially after Star Wars screenwriter and director Tony Gilroy came out weeks ago, as you may recall, really exposing the fact that Disney just doesn't really have the money anymore. They don't really have the funds anymore to really keep pumping out TV shows on Disney Plus like they once did 3-4 years ago, when things really began to hit their peak level. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. Now, one thing about Bob Iger, and I pointed this out so many times, is that he should be called Bob Iger because all he does is lie to not just the shareholders and the investors, but also to the loyal customer base, and really attempts to string them along into the following year. Now, we know that he does have very serious plans to step down by 2026 sometime, to have somebody else come on board to take on the mantle of Disney CEO, and honestly, I think it's very unlikely that we're going to get anybody better. If anything, we're probably going to get somebody just as bad, if not worse, than Bob Iger that's going to please the top 3 shareholders, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. However, this is where it begins to get very serious when Bob Iger gets very defensive and gets very, of course, argumentative with those in the public that are beginning to have a voice. They're beginning to have a true opinion based on the Disney Plus business model and how it's really just not worth the money anymore, especially now in 2025. Now, he, of course, with the Walt Disney Company already dealing with serious financial setbacks for Disney Plus, and even screenwriter and director, as I pointed out before, of Star Wars, calling out how Disney doesn't have funds available anymore for Disney Plus shows. Already Bob Iger, the Disney CEO, is doing damage control in the way that we would have never imagined. Now, this is all to protect the company as it goes through its financial collapse for streaming. Iger recently delivered the following: "As CEO, it is my responsibility to remain direct and transparent with both of our loyal customers and our shareholders. I can't stress this enough that we here at the Disney Company, we do not tolerate any destructive opinions toward our family-friendly material, whether it be films or television programs on the Disney Plus business model. Our financial status is looking brighter at every angle, both in the short and long term, for not just our films, but also for our streaming platform. Any other individuals telling you otherwise, I think it's safe to say that this is coming from a political platform or a strong political landscape attempting to shape a specific narrative. We are more than proud with our Disney Plus financial status, regardless of our cost-cutting strategy and our cost containment plan in play. A so-called agenda and/or culture war that we engaged in, and which isn't true anyway to begin with, had nothing to do with our cost cutbacks, but rather a way for us to apply more funds and to invest ourselves further into films instead, meant for the theaters." Now guys, I don't know about you, but that's basically saying, yeah, we're in a serious situation right now with Disney Plus, but I'm not going to admit that at the same exact time. So typical Bob Iger, he talks in circles, he goes back and forth, he says one thing and he says another thing. But Disney Plus, he goes on to say, Disney Plus is stronger than ever before, and we have many successful projects on the horizon from Marvel, Star Wars, and Disney in general. Some very surprising announcements that we have in store that we'll appreciate, and of course respect diversity, equity, and inclusion. So we ask everyone to act civil and to be civil, and to not hold any political bias. We here at the Disney Company felt it was a necessary move to also raise rates while removing unnecessary content on the platform that is no longer needed to create a more streamlined experience for our users. Now guys, let me just stop there again. The fact that he's justifying the act of removing content and raising rates to say it makes it more streamlined is ridiculous. Now look, I think that when it comes down to Bob Iger, he's going to say whatever he has to say to, rationalize or to justify his actions, or to justify the fact that Disney Plus, it is true, they have lost billions of dollars combined over the years. And this is of course equaling to why Lucasfilm/Star Wars over at Disney, they canceled a number of TV shows, and they actually also scrapped plans to have a specific target number of shows releasing per year. So you're not going to have like 3 Star Wars shows, 4 Star Wars shows a year anymore like they once did some time ago. If you actually look very close, over time it decreased every single year, and now they're aiming to have 1 Star Wars show a year, and that's it. So as far as we can tell right now, all bets are on the Ahsoka Season 2 series. That's the most recent one, and that's pretty much it at this point in time for Disney+. And when you're looking at Marvel, they're also cutting back a lot on that. Now, he goes on to actually elaborate further. I ask everyone to not fall into the constant false narratives out there that our streaming platform is in a delicate situation, because it's quite the opposite. Our investors, shareholders, and customers will be more than satisfied once we officially make several exciting announcements in the coming days, as we begin to focus more on film instead of streaming. And of course, those coming from a political platform will take that direction into something crucial for the Disney Plus business model. By raising rates and removing content for the platform, we hope to achieve better filmmaking experiences for our cast and crew that will be applied to our better experience for both the audience in the theaters and around the globe. Now guys, let me just stop right there again. The fact that he's literally admitting that they are cost-cutting on Disney Plus to focus more on the theater experience, right? Like movies in the actual theaters. That's literally admitting that you have a problem with Disney Plus. And the fact that they're also cost-cutting, they're slashing funds for their projects, and they're also slashing the number of projects releasing a year, is also pointing to exactly what Tony Gilroy literally admitted and exposed, is that Disney, they just don't have the money anymore. They don't have the funds available anymore. He literally said that during the press tour for Andor Season 2, and it's something that Disney did not see coming, and it could very well be why it's been pretty much crickets lately when it comes to Tony Gilroy representing Disney. But I move on here. He goes on to close, as CEO, something I will not stand for quietly are those turning our decisions here at the Disney company into political propaganda. These are the types of acts that need to immediately come to a halt because you are only ruining the experience for others. So again, Bob Iger talks about how people are ruining the experience for others. Well, literally, they engaged in propaganda. That's what Disney did so severely over the years. We all saw this happen before our very own eyes with Star Wars, Marvel, Disney live-action remakes. Heck, they even tried to do this with Pirates of the Caribbean reboots. And that's still, by the way, an active development, but it's been kind of quiet lately. We haven't heard all that many updates on the new Pirates of the Caribbean movies. And as far as I say, no Johnny, no pirates, right? If you don't got Johnny Depp, you might as well just scrap those ideas because nobody wants it. So again, I think that Bob Iger, he really is trying to prop himself up as a CEO. He knows what's coming. He knows that his time is short over at Disney. People don't want to hear it anymore. People are tired of him. Nobody wants to deal with Bob Iger anymore. Even the board of directors, they don't want him to stay over at the Disney company. They are the ones that pressured him to step down in 2026. But overall, I would like to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I'll catch you guys later.